Hey guys, so I'm going to do some 5D painting. Hopefully the lighting is okay for you. I've got my photography light here because otherwise I was completely dark because the lights from the outside the curtains was very bright versus dark, so now I have a very bright light beside me, so hopefully it's working. And obviously I've got the light on the light pad here for the 5D painting. So we're just going to do some 5D painting. I grabbed one random out of my cupboard, so looks like we're doing one with some little birds, maybe blue tits, I don't know, I'm not very good with birds, and could possibly be wisteria, I'm not sure, but let's open it up. I haven't opened it yet, as you can see. So we'll have a look on. It's only a small one. Those who saw the photos of my eye will notice. Might tip this down a little more because that way when I lean forward I'm still in camera. If I go out of camera in my little one here, sorry, I'm not used to using the little one attached to my camcorder. This is all being recorded on one camera. My camcorder has a little secondary camera for face, so that's what we're doing. There may be times that I stop chatting and we go fast forward in silence. That would be when Duncan gets a work call, because he is working beside me over there, and so if he gets a business call then I can't talk while he's on there, so those bits will just be silent. I'm not using the ones that came with it because I really like the one with the pour in to pack away, and I already have some set up with the extra bits on them, saves me setting any more up. And I'll use some of my older wax instead of a new one, because why waste a perfectly new one if I can use up older ones first. So obviously you will hear a lot of rustling while I deal with these. I'm just going to keep them in their little bags, not pour them into anything. I only use my proper containers for ones that are actually the DMC colours, so that I can keep a collection of them. The ones that are like these ones that are just basic colours that don't actually go with DMC, I still keep them all, but they get kept in other containers mixed together, and then I'll find a mass use for them at some point. I don't know what, but we will. So hopefully everything is here. So we have numbers 1 to 20, and then this one I assume, yep, 21. So we have everything we need. There will be a lot of rustling, sorry about that, can't be helped. So let's see, let's try to straighten this out a little first, and then we can work out which side we're going to start with. So these ones are just from AliExpress. They're the last batch I bought from them, and I won't be buying from them anymore because I've recently discovered, thanks to some other 5D painters, that some of these stuff are copyright. Shouldn't be a surprise. So if this is someone's original picture that they've used, I'm really sorry. We'll take the video down if you ask. But I have a new supplier that I will be getting my 5D paints from in the UK, and I've been accepted for wholesale from them, so I will be selling them too. I just have to get enough money together to put the wholesale order in, which I almost have enough, but the shop, obviously with everything going on, is closed down a little, so I haven't made as much money as planned. 36 Salisbury is officially closed now, so my shop in town is gone, but oh well. Okay, so I think we're going to start up this end. I might do this way actually, as it's this way on, so I think we're going to start with B, which is apparently number 12. So, how are you lot? You're going stir crazy being stuck indoors? You'd think it wouldn't make a difference for me because I'm always indoors, I don't go out anywhere. But you know what? Being stuck indoors when you have to be stuck indoors versus when your anxiety stops you going outdoors. It's a very different matter. Especially weekends when Duncan would always take me out somewhere and now he can't. So we're just kind of stuck in doing nothing. Well, doing nothing. I never do nothing. I'm always doing some kind of craft. But I thought I'd chat away with you guys and do a 5D painting because I haven't chatted away doing something with you lot for a long time, so we will do that. Let's get some wax on here. I don't know if you can tell what birds these are when they're finished, but if they are, you can just tell me what ones they are. Let's roll that back. Ooh, that middle bit's stuck down a little there. Okay, so let's do this, shall we? Now these are, as I said, non-DMC colours, and these are rather small round ones. Can't say I've been impressed with the quality of this. I bought a bunch of them from one person, and you know, they were really cheap, so you know, I wasn't expecting anything fantastic, so for the price they're a bargain. But I would have liked a little better sizing comparison for the dots versus the picture, because I don't know if you noticed on the last one, the eye one that I popped up on my Instagram, they just have too much showing through. I think I prefer square ones rather than round ones because they don't show so much of the underside, the picture, and I think that's better. I might have to zoom in a little so you can actually see what I'm doing. Yes, there we go. So if we go there and then push that there. There we go, that might be better. Though I am going to ask Mally to plug me in because I've just noticed the battery is going a little. So, Mally darling, will you grab the power supply to this camera please?
Where is it?
It should be in the craft room downstairs, plugged in. Either that or I've packed it away in the camera drawer. You'd think I remember where I put my stuff, but I don't. There's only 2 or 3 places I put them, so it's usually easy to find. And you'd think I checked the battery before I started filming, but nope, didn't do that either. Normally I recharge as soon as I finish, so I'm guessing I forgot to recharge after filming last. I probably did, because I did the Craftiosity and the catch-up video. I think that was the only 2, wasn't it? I can't remember. But I probably forgot to recharge at that point. So it needs to get charged on, and you can use this camera while it's plugged in, which is really nice, because my digital camera, my can't think what it's called. Anyway, the one I used to film on was a proper photograph camera, not a camcorder like I film on now. And that one you have to take the battery out to charge, so I can't film and charge. Let's have a look. Yep, that looks about right. Can you go around that side with it, please? Because it's on this side. Let's just get that plugged in a minute.
Need to rearrange the plugs.
I don't know what one's what in here. This one's the light that I just put in, isn't it? What one's...
I know that's Alexa.
We can unplug Alexa for the minute. We're not using her. There we go. It's one of those USB ones to the side, so it takes up more slots than is sensible. It has to be on the end, but that end's the end for the extension lead right now has actually got my light plugged in, so if I turn that off, I'll go all dark and you won't see me. But we don't need Alexa for the minute, so it doesn't matter if we unplug her. Because I can't play any music while I do this, because otherwise I'll get dinged and I'd rather not. So who's being good and staying indoors and not going off travelling down to Cornwall and things? The amount of people who seem to think that this is a holiday and not a public crisis is ridiculous. I mean, stay indoors, be healthy, not just for yourself, but everyone else. It's not rocket science, is it really? Duncan's listening to an Audible book, so hopefully he won't get bored of hearing my voice. Otherwise, he might go a little insane. Imagine hearing my voice all day, every day. Oh, I'd go insane. I'm guessing he can hear me because he's now laughing. Obviously not got your Audible book up very loud then, darling. He's busy working away because, lucky for him, he works in an office situation, so he's actually able to work from home. He already worked from home 2 to 3 days a week anyway, because he normally works in London, so he only had to travel up there a couple of days a week or so, but now he's permanently at home until further notice because the office is closed, which quite frankly I'm really glad about, because I didn't like him going up there during all this anyway. Too much of a risk, because last I checked London had the highest numbers of coronavirus outbreaks, so it's better that he's not there. Though if anyone thinks working from home means it's easier, it's not. He spends more time on business calls than he does actually being able to do the work he needs to do. But then, when you're the manager, kind of your life, innit? At least I don't need to have business meetings because I'm my own business, so I'd be talking to myself. Though I kind of am talking to myself now, so, you know. Who cares? If you get to watch some of us go slowly insane, being trapped indoors all day, every day, entertainment, innit? But no, I have so many craft supplies. I'm good for at least a year. And some places are still delivering, so I can always order more if needs be. See, always people who criticise my craft stash, not just yarn, but 5D paintings and actual painting acrylic paints and polymer clay, I use Fimo, and quilling and origami and fabric for sewing. You see, I have enough to keep me going for a long time, so I'm good to go. See, if we had a proper apocalypse, I'd be good. I can make all my own stuff and then trade it for food. See, so being young and doing these is nothing wrong. Saying that, I'm not exactly that young anymore. I'm still younger than most people assume people are for crochet and knitting, but I think they're realising now that young people do them. And you don't have to be some old granny to do it. Not that there's anything wrong being an old granny doing it. But I am not a granny yet, and I don't plan on being one for a little while yet. Plus I'd be a nanny, not a granny. Granny sounds really old and boring. I don't know what to chat to you guys about because I'm out of practice from chatting and rambling. You'd think I'd have loads to say, given the fact that I have nothing to say to anyone all day, but my brain is on strike at the moment. I have a headache, so that's why I'm just doing something nice and simple. And I don't actually have to think. And let's face it, not thinking is really handy when you have a headache. I probably should be studying, but there's no way I'm going to be able to pay attention to what I'm reading and understanding it all when you have a headache. It's hard. And it doesn't take me long to get through my study stuff, because I'm a reasonably fast reader. So my main problems is actually writing my TMAs, because I know what I like to write, but getting it down onto paper or onto a computer screen is much harder. I can't always express what I want to say, which is a bit of a pain. But the important thing is I'm still passing, and that's all that matters. At the end of the day, hopefully by the end of next year, I will have my degree, and that's all that matters. What degree I get doesn't matter, you know. I was aiming for 2-1, but there's a high possibility that I might end up with a 2-2. Or if things go really bad, a 3rd. But you know, I'm not really fussed. At first I would have been disappointed, but at the end of the day, with everything I've got going on, to even get a degree is blimmin' good work as far as I'm concerned. So, it's all good. Though there are some who still don't believe that the Open University is a real university. But now that all the universities are working online, they might get to understand there's still just as much work. It's not lazing around doing nothing, you still have a lot of work to do. But I think I'm kind of Greek and Roman mythed out. I'll be glad when this module's over. It's been fascinating, but the TMAs are blimmin' hard work. Not because the actual subject matter is hard, but the questions that we have to answer. They're not straightforward questions. It's a lot of subjectivity, and I struggle with work that's subjectivity to tutors, because some tutors like one thing and some tutors like another thing. So I think I prefer my computer modules that I do, because, you know, there's no subjectivity. Computers is either right or wrong. So I'm hoping to pick a new computer module for my last one. They are open for picking now, but I haven't looked yet. The last time I checked, there wasn't one I wanted to do, so I'm hoping there's going to be some new ones pop up in April or something, so that I find some that I actually like. Because otherwise I'll have to pick a module or two that I don't like, because a lot of the computer modules turn out to be 30 credits instead of 60 credits, so I'd have to pick 2 modules to finish next year. And it's not necessary that the 30 credit is half the work of 60 credit. Sometimes it is about the same amount of work, it's just that a 30 credit is probably slightly easier, I don't know. I suppose, again, what you find easy and what you find hard is depending on your pre-knowledge of what you are studying. Which I think is why I've struggled with all the arty modules, because I don't have a huge amount of knowledge on history and art, because the art ones are the history of art and things, or the history of myth and that. There's not like do some drawing and painting and things, it's actually history and academic side of art, which my knowledge isn't fantastic on. But it has been fascinating work learning all of this stuff. I just probably should have made sure I picked some modules I knew a little more about. But then if it was all easy, I wouldn't have learnt anything, and there'd be no point, would there? The amount of things I've had Duncan read for me so that I can check I haven't missed anything glaring. He's probably learning a lot about arty stuff as well. Not that he wants to. Mally is over, in theory, doing his own work, but right now it looks like he's on his phone. From the look on his face, I'm pretty sure I was right. He's on his phone. I don't know what time it is. Maybe he's on lunch break. What time is it? Yeah. It's a little early for lunch. You should be another 10 minutes. 7 minutes, fine. Get bloody pedantic on me. Duncan doesn't normally have lunch until like 1 o'clock, so I got a little time before I have to stop filming and have my food. I'll have to put some more wax on this, I think, because it's not picking anything up. Sometimes the wax lasts me ages, sometimes I have to put new in pretty quickly. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. It doesn't matter though. Oh, run away, gem. There we go. Should move it up a little so you can still see, shouldn't I? I might go live at some point, but with Duncan taking calls, I can't really go live while he's working, so it'll probably end up being a weekend. But obviously Jan does lives on Saturdays, so I don't want to go in there, and I don't know if anyone does lives on Sundays. have to wait and see, I think. The itch. I'm thinking of doing some bead weaving at some point. Let me know if anyone's interested in some bead weaving tutorials, or me doing some bead weaving while chatting along. So another crafting chat but with bead weaving, or maybe Kumihimo, both thread and bead versions. It depends what you fancy. I might do some origami and quilling as well. I don't know what people are interested in. Obviously I am still putting up my computer game ones, which I know a lot of you aren't interested in. You're here for the crafts, but at the end of the day, this channel is about my crafty life, and my life, though predominantly covered by crafts, does have other things, and puzzles is one of the things. Jigsaw puzzles and computer game puzzles. So I like to share them with you guys as well. I know at the moment I've only shared Glass Masquerade puzzles, but I do have some other puzzle games that I will share at some point. I did record some from The Room. It's another really cool puzzly game called The Room, but I didn't like the footage because I didn't break it down into sections. I just recorded for an hour or something. I think it'd be easier if I do them in small sections, you know, break each chapter up or each section of the puzzle up or something. So I will replay that and refilm again at some point. Lucky for me, my brain is so often on retirement that I don't often remember the results on it all, the solutions, that's the word, solution. So when I play it again, it's often just as much fun for me as the first time, which is really handy. Does anyone have any other recommendations for puzzle computer games? And by puzzle I don't mean Match 3, Gem, Candy Crush, all that sort of stuff. That to me is not a puzzle. I mean actual happen to use, I think the term's logic puzzle, I think that's probably the right term. I like logic puzzles. I mean I like jigsaw puzzles as well, which aren't logic puzzles, but I'm sure you get what I mean. So yeah, if anyone has any recommendations games, I've just got for Mother's Day, my eldest bought me a game off of the PlayStation VR called Static, and that's that is a puzzle game, but you're kind of you're the person being experimented on, and your hands are usually trapped inside this device that you've then got to complete a bunch of tasks on, only using the buttons on the controller. Every single button has a use, depending on which one you're on, depends on what each one does, but it's quite cool and I enjoy it. I tried the trial of it last year, I think it was, and I really enjoyed it, so I've been waiting to get it. It's been on my list, and so Kurt got it for my Mother's Day, which was brilliant, and Duncan got me some more of the downloadable content for Glass Masquerade, so I now have every puzzle for the Glass Masquerade 1 and 2, which is fantastic. So that should keep me going for a little while. So you will be seeing a lot more of them, I'm afraid. But I'm sure most of you don't mind, because if you don't like that sort of thing, you just don't watch it. I know a couple of people unsubbed, but you know what, if you're only here for crafty content, that's fine by me. If you don't like what I do, you don't have to watch me, do you? But there will always be craft content on the channel. It's just going to have a wider range of other stuff as well, because I don't want to always be doing crafts. Sometimes I like to do other things, like the gaming. I'm not like a big computer gamer, you know. I don't do these shooting games and all these sort of things that Duncan likes those sort of things. But puzzly ones I do enjoy. I've been tempted to stream on Twitch doing some of the puzzle games so people can maybe work along with me, but I've never actually streamed on Twitch. I've only ever watched other people, so I don't actually know how you go about it. So it's something I'd have to look into, I think. And it depends on how good my webcam is, really, because this camera I'm filming on right now and my photo camera don't have the ability to be webcam, so I have to use my actual webcam. My laptop has a camera built in, but for some reason my laptop won't acknowledge it has a camera. It thinks it doesn't have one, so that's not currently working. I don't think the quality on it was very good anyway, that's why I bought a separate webcam in the first place, so not the end of the world. What else can we chat about? I should have put a post up asking you lot to give me some questions, shouldn't I, really? But this was kind of a last minute decision. I got up this morning with a bad head, decided I wasn't going to study, and thought I might do some relaxing, mindless craft. And thought, well, if I'm going to do that, I might as well film and chat to you guys. And then if I run out of things to say, we can always just fast forward to the end of this, because I'm hoping to have a good chunk of this done on this video. I don't know, it depends how long I record for. And then I might end up doing more tomorrow or something, so that we can see how it all goes. I might finish this one up when we stop for lunch, and then pop a post out asking for some questions and topics, and then tomorrow I could always film me doing more of this with some actual questions to answer, so that you guys don't have to listen to me rambling about a load of I'm trying to think of a word that's not a swear word, BS. You know what I mean. It's not picking up again. I have so many of these waxes, it's ridiculous, because I reuse old ones for the new puzzles, so just having a nice big bulk of them. But, you know, I'm sure I'll find a use for them at some point. Need some more. Quite a few bees in this, isn't there? All the ones that are my DMC, I have really nice containers for them now, which I'd got for, I think I got them for the winter solstice last year, Yule or Christmas, whatever you want to call it. I think Kurt got me them as well, I can't remember who got me them, but it's really nice. It's actually my next door neighbour's fault, she got the set, and it was so nice that I asked for that on my wish list. I have an Amazon wish list, so people who want to buy things for me for birthdays, Christmas, Mother's Day, whatever, they can always go to that wish list and find something that's within their price range, because it's everything from things that are only about a pence to things that are a lot more. And that's how I get most of my stuff. And I know a lot of you will say you shouldn't use Amazon because they don't pay their taxes and things, but there are not any decent craft stores around here. There's none. We have a sewing machine shop that sells yarn and fabric at a very high price. We have a high-end wool shop, and then if we go over to the next town over, we have a more friendly priced wool shop. but that's it. There's no actual places to get other crafts. We don't have a Hobbycraft. We have to go to Southampton for a Hobbycraft, and be honest, it doesn't have a lot in it. They really narrowed their range down, which is a shame. We do have a range which I got really excited about because it only opened last year. I went to the opening day with my next door neighbour, and we were disappointed to find there was no yarn. She makes cards and they didn't have any of the card stock she needed, and their craft section was pretty poor, to be honest, which was a real shame because I remember when I lived in Plymouth, the range down there had a fantastic selection of craft stuff. So maybe one day it'll improve. But I mean, they have an actual Iceland, which is a frozen food shop in the UK. They have that inside the range store. So that's taken up a bit of space that could have been used for more crafts. I don't actually know why they put an Iceland in. Because we have an Iceland in town, so it's nice if we didn't have one. We don't have an Asda, and we don't have a Morrison's. We have a Waitrose, which is a posh shopping shop. It's a food shop like Tesco's, but a lot posher people go there because it's much more expensive. But they have some good stuff. You hear the oven going. I don't know what Mally's having. He might be reheating his pizza from last night. I'm not sure. What are you having for lunch, Mally?
Leftover pizza.
Oh, right, pizza. He eats horrible pizzas.
This is actually one of them. Actually,
This is the New Yorker, I think, innit? Which is all meat. A lot of meat, sausage and all sorts. Which is, but he has one that's even worse. And that's sticky cola chicken or something it's called.
Sticky barbecue Coca-Cola.
There we go. Sticky barbecue Coca-Cola, which is chicken cooked in Coca-Cola. It's so bad. He had me try a bit once because he said it was really nice, and it was not good.
See, I tried it expecting it to be either mediocre or bad, but I loved it. It sounds horrible.
You're weird. It's sweet, and hot pizzas shouldn't be sweet. Saying that, I do like pineapple on most pizzas, so you know. But it's just it's not good. No. So he gets to eat that all to himself. I need a drink. My throat hurts. Lovely peppermint tea. It's in my flask that Mally got me for Mother's Day. Isn't that pretty? It's so pretty. I have to have my tea in a flask because I have a habit of forgetting it's there and it goes stone cold. And though you can drink herbal tea stone cold, I prefer to have it warm. That sounds like Kurt's up and about. He works for McDonald's, which has just closed all its stores, and so does my twin sister. And as far as I know, neither of them know what's happening about money for the next foreseeable future. Nobody knows if McDonald's is paying them or if they're out of luck. It's not so bad for Kurt because he lives at home, so he hasn't got rent to pay or anything. But my twin sister, she's got 2 kids to support, rent to pay and all that sort of stuff because she's a single mum. How's she supposed to cope with no income? So I'm kind of hoping McDonald's will just pay their staff their average wage for each month or something. I mean, they are pretty good. I mean, Leanne's only been there for 4 or 5 months, and they're already putting her through the manager training because they're so impressed with her work ethic. So she would have been going to a higher wage with the management. So I don't know what's happening about any of that now, because I think the only thing she had left to do was travel to London and do the courses there, and of course she ain't going there no more. So there's a lot of people up in the air, which I think is where we're really lucky that Duncan can work from home, so we're not really too badly affected. Other than the fact that we can't find any food because greedy little gits have took it all, which is a pain. What makes it worse is you'd think, because I tend to have dairy-free, wheat-free, meat-free foods, I'd be good. Nobody's going to want that stuff, are they? Nope. As soon as they ran out of normal pasta, they hit up the gluten-free pasta. And various other free-from foods, which will only get wasted because most people, once they taste it, they'll be going like, ooh, who eats that? You get used to it after a while. Some of it's not too bad nowadays, but when I first started being gluten-free, some of it was really awful. But Galaxy now do a vegan chocolate, so that's really good. I'm not a vegan, like a proper vegan, but I try to follow a reasonable veganish diet, because I'm already dairy free. I have small amounts of dairy because I can handle small amounts of wheat and dairy before I get sick. But if I can do it as close to vegan as possible, that's what I prefer to do. Because I'm not really bothered about not eating meat, so being a vegetarian is not too bad. But as I'm also mostly dairy free, being a vegan, it isn't too hard. But there's a few things that I do still eat because of dietary requirements for my health. So I'm not a proper vegetarian or a proper vegan, because I do eat tuna and salmon sometimes, because they have the vitamin D and things that I need, because I am deficient in those. And I do like my eggs. If I'm not feeling very well, fried egg on waffle makes me feel so much better. So there is foods that I eat that a vegan or vegetarian wouldn't eat, so which is why I say I'm a flexi vegan or a flexi vegetarian. It's easier to say I'm a flexi whatever than try to explain my very complicated dietary needs, because people are just looking at you and go, what? Went for a game night over at my auntie's a couple of weeks ago, and after I said I couldn't eat any of the munchies that they got, she's like, what can you eat then? And I'm like, well, I like lentils and chickpeas and salad and all that sort of stuff, so that's all good. Just got a message from my auntie Ethel, actually, a picture. Another one of those pass it along things. I love my family, but they do my head in, keep passing on all these things that are usually fake or just trying to spam up inboxes and things. So I think you should know, if you're on my Facebook, if you send me one of those pass it along things, it dies in my inbox. I do not pass them on, ever. Even if it's a nice one about giving a hug and celebrate certain women and things. No, if I want to tell someone they're brilliant, I'll just tell them that. There's no point sending a meaningless meme doing it. The personal touch is better. If you want to tell someone how good they are, just tell them. Don't send a meme that's got no personal motivation behind it at all. If you could work out what word I just said, then good on you, because I think I muddled about 3 words. You can tell my brain is a little fried, because I think I've muddled quite a few words. But you guys get used to it. You know what I'm like. I always muddle my words. So any of you not reading any books and listening to any audibles? Me and Duncan are both on the same books at the moment, though I think we're on different ones of the series. the Wheel of Time, I think that's what they're called. They're a series of 14 books. I read them a couple of years ago now, I think. But I'm rereading them all and listening to them on Audible because I thoroughly enjoy them. Some of them do drag a little, I'll be honest, but most of them are really good books. So that's what I'm currently listening to and reading. Because Alexa reads it to me while I sleep at night, because I like hearing something in the background, and then I just put it up to where I'm already read in the physical book, well, the Kindle book, and listen from that point on until I fall asleep. So I hear some parts several times over, but that doesn't bother me. Just trying to see if we've got any more bees before I put these back. 9 times out of 10 I will miss several of them. So if you see any, try not to shout at me too much when you're telling me that I've missed a bunch, because I do all the time. Still, let's do that because I'm still thinking, it's because I don't sit up straight, I'm hunker over, which is bad. I shouldn't do that, but you know me, posture is not my strong point. Part of the pain clinic stuff was going to be about improving your posture and things, and I was really looking forward to it, but with all this going on, I'm going to assume the pain clinic is going to be cancelled because it's not a necessary NHS treatment, it's just something to help us cope. I'm kind of hoping my appointment for the steroid training does go ahead though, because that's going to teach me how to teach me and Duncan how to do the injection if I'm too sick to take my tablets for my emergency meds. Finally got the appointment through last week, I think it was, I can't remember now, and it's for April, so I'm hoping it still goes ahead because it is an important one, especially with this virus about at the moment. I just spotted a bee that I missed, but I'll do it later. What should we do? Should we do K now? So K is 17. Oh, rattling. Don't you just love the sound of that? No. I actually don't mind rattling, but I know a lot of you can't stand it and get annoyed when we do this on camera, but I'm not going to start and stop just to cut open each one, you know. Be forever trying to re-edit it all back together. And quite frankly, I'm too lazy to do that. Especially considering Duncan's the one that does most of my editing because, well, I'm lazy. I'm not lazy, really. It's a lot of work and sometimes I need help. And Duncan is very good at giving me a lot of help. I need to pour some more tea. So wherever you are, is the alcohol aisles being stripped bare as well? Because I've noticed a lot of places alcohol is being stripped bare. It doesn't really seem like a necessity in this time to have alcohol, but apparently for a lot of people it is. Which, you know, if that's how they get through the day, let them do it. Craft keeps me sane, and I know some people relax with alcohol. I'd relax with chocolate and cake, but, well, let's face it, I'm fat enough. I think that's been the biggest shock as growing older, as when I was a kid. I can eat anything and everything I wanted, and it wasn't a problem, because I was so skinny. People used to ask me if I was anorexic. If they saw what I ate, they'd know I wasn't. As I got older, though, I got fatter, and then when I got sick, the weight just kept on coming. And though now I follow a really reasonably healthy diet, the weight still doesn't like to shift because the Cushing syndrome I have, it literally builds up fat on your belly and on the back of your neck. That's why I have a hump. It's not from slouching, the hump is actually a fat hump. So I'm trying to adjust my diet again to remove excess fat. And by excess fat I mean like cheese, mayo, that sort of stuff, because I do like my vegan cheese. But even vegan cheese isn't particularly healthy. So just trying to reduce fat and carbs in my diet, and go much more fruit and veg style, and chickpea, lentil, that sort of stuff. There's less of it in them. And hopefully that will help reduce how much weight I gain. I've actually started to go down slowly but surely, so that's good. In case you're wondering, when I have vegan chocolate, I only have half a portion each time, which is a real improvement, because there was a time I would have eaten an entire giant bar of chocolate in one sitting, or a massive share bag to myself in one sitting. But nowadays I only eat small amounts of chocolate, which is really good, and much healthier. So having half a portion makes the bars last a lot longer, and I feel less guilty about having them. Not that you should ever feel guilty about what you're eating. You eat what you want, it's your decision, and no one should make you feel guilty for having anything you fancy. Obviously, if you have medical conditions, it means you shouldn't eat something. Maybe consider reconsidering. But you know, it's your choice, it's your body. I know some diabetics who are as good as gold and don't have anything that could possibly be bad for them, and I know some who don't give a damn and eat anything and everything they want. You know, everything's okay in moderation. And it took almost 40 years, but I now have chocolate in moderation. And I don't drink, and I don't smoke, so I think having chocolate as my vice isn't that bad. Duncan's always used to be crisp. Well, it still is crisp. But he's also starting to eat chocolate more often. Isn't you, baby? Don't worry. He's working away. He's got his earphones in, listening to his book, so he doesn't really know most of what I'm saying. But then even when he's not got his earphones in, he doesn't know most of what I'm saying, because he's got very good at blocking out his nagging wife. Saw some reports that divorce rates would be higher after all of this. It's like, do people not like spending time with their other half? And all the people who are not coping with having their kids at home. Why did you have kids if you didn't want to spend time with them? You can't see that, can you? I've done most of this section and you couldn't see it. You should be treasuring all the time you can with your kids. Trust me, when they get older they disappear and you don't really see them very often. You very rarely see Reese. He's always off working or partying. Not that he can party anymore because his clubs are all closed. Which, you know, is good, because he did drink a little too much. I don't know how I managed, but I have one son who drinks way too much and one son who barely drinks at all. I think Reese manages to drink mine, his, Kurt's and Duncan's share when he's out partying. But, you know, he's young. He'll grow out of it at some point, I'm sure. Especially when he realises he can't afford it all. At the moment he's in a house share, so the rent is split between them. When he eventually gets his own place, he'd like to see how much things cost, and that he won't be able to party so much because he's got too many bills to pay. I'm tired. I don't think I went to bed particularly late last night. I can't remember. The other night I went to bed at like 9 o'clock. I was shattered. Then I got like a 10-hour sleep. It was fantastic. Best sleep I've had in a long time. I've started taking magnesium supplements and they seem to be doing a really good job. I'm getting tired more and sleeping easier in the evenings. Before I had a lot of insomnia, whereas now I'm actually going to sleep in at half sensible times most of the time. And my recovery from exercise seems to have improved. Pain's not quite so bad. So that's really good. Could be coincidental since I started taking magnesium, but I'm going to assume that it is the magnesium because magnesium is known to help with a lot of that stuff. I actually started taking it for my migraines, and then when the rest of it happened, I did a bit of research and found out that it helps with the rest of it, so that's probably why it is helping. Apparently, magnesium deficiency is something common in those of us with fibromyalgia and migraines and that sort of stuff. So hopefully this will help. So if I can get off of all painkillers, that'd be nice. Not that I'm on much. I'm on amitriptyline, but it was given to me to help me sleep. Didn't work. But I think combined with the magnesium, it's not doing too bad. And don't worry, I did check that it's okay to take it with the rest of my medication first, because I am on blood pressure medication, but I've checked and the magnesium I'm on is the safe magnesium, the magnesium oxide instead of, I can't remember what the other one is now, but the other one isn't supposed to be used with my blood pressure meds, but magnesium oxide is, because apparently they're different. Looks like I've been rambling for 51 minutes. Who knew? I can still ramble and talk people's ears off and bore them to death. At least if you're stuck indoors cleaning, you can listen to me rambling on while you do your cleaning or something. This is coming along quite nicely, I think. Got my Fitbit on charge. I'm hoping I'll remember to put it back on. Because the last time I put it on charge, I forgot for like half a day. It's the only problem with when you're charging your Fitbit, you can't wear it, and so it doesn't register any of that stuff you do. So often it looks like I haven't done my target when I have, because I've just forgot to put the Fitbit on. Not that I have high targets, don't get me wrong. I have very low targets. Because that way, even on my really bad days, I can usually meet the target. Not always, but usually. And then if I go over that target, which is what I aim to do most times, then it's like a little pick-me-up for me, because I've managed to go higher than I planned on. And that's both with calorie burn and steps and things. I concentrate more on my calorie burn than I do on how many steps, because I could do 10,000 steps and still not burn enough calories if I didn't have the effort equalled. I mean, I don't do 10,000 steps, don't get me wrong. I don't do anywhere near that. And I know that's what a lot of people say you should do, but as far as I'm concerned, as long as I'm burning the calories off, how many steps I do is irrelevant. And between Beat Saber and just everyday tasks, I usually can burn a reasonable amount of calories. It's not that it's calories in versus calories out as such. I don't monitor it that way as such. I have a set amount of calories I want to burn each day, and that's what I burn no matter what I eat, because I know that my eating habits, unless on an extremely bad day, I actually have pretty low calorie, because, you know, salad and lentils things aren't exactly high calorie foods. You know, it's not like celery, it's not super low calorie, don't get me wrong. But, you know, it's a reasonable amount of calories each day. I've spent years working out how much calories in certain foods and things, and which foods are the better foods to have. You know, 100 calories of chocolate versus 100 calories of fruit and veg is a very different calorie intake, well, nutritional intake. So it's not just about calories, it's about nutrition as well, which makes it a lot more of a pain in the arse for those who are trying to lose weight, because you have to learn it isn't just calories in versus calories out, it's a lot more complicated than that. So people who make you feel bad and accuse you of eating too many calories when you're being good, they haven't got a clue. And it's not easy to lose weight. Some people are like, oh, if you just do more exercise and eat less food, you'll lose the weight. It's not that simple. Never is. So just do what you can and don't give a damn what anyone else says. Much better that way. Though I am guilty of moaning at Duncan for eating unhealthily quite often. But, you know, if I didn't moan at him, then he wouldn't know that he was getting extra weight, which is what nobody told me. If somebody had told me, look, come on, the weight's starting to go on now, you might want to start doing something about it, maybe it would have been easier for me to prevent getting quite so overweight. But when it goes on slowly, you don't tend to notice the difference much. And you need someone else to, like, give you a reality check. Because my aim was to put weight on when I was so skinny, and then I didn't really see it when I had put too much weight on until it was too late. Like some people say, was it your kids? No. After my first two, I was back to a size 6 or an 8, depending on the clothing, within a week. And that's UK sizes. But after I had Mally, I'd already started gaining weight before I had him, and then after I had him, I did lose some weight, so it wasn't from him either. It was just health. Because back then I was still walking everywhere and doing everything, whereas as I became sicker I could do less, and more food started becoming a problem for me. But the weight just started coming on. So I'll get there. I'm not putting myself under pressure to lose a certain amount by a certain time, because I think when you don't meet those goals you get quite down and you're like, well, what's the point of carrying on if I'm not going to meet my goals? Whereas if I don't have goals and my aim is just to lose some weight and think about it, as long as I'm on a general trend of going down or stabilising and not gaining, I'm happy. I mean, obviously I'd like to lose more than I stabilise at, but you know, as long as I'm not going up, I'm not too fussed. I am losing some. This dress that I'm wearing today, I couldn't fit into the last time I tried it, and then the last couple of times I've worn it, it's been really nice and almost loose. I did lose quite a bit of weight in 2017. I was looking really good, and then I had my hemiplegic attack in October, and the weight just piled on after that. So it's been a constant battle since then. But it's one that I won't give up on. What else can I ramble about? I don't know. Probably bored you all to death anyway by now. But I know some of you like to listen to people ramble just for the fun of it. I do. I love listening to people ramble. You never know what's going to come out of their mouth. Sometimes it's really good funny. There's the odd occasion that I think, whoa, did that just really get said by someone I like? But more often than not, I don't hear really bad things, which is nice. We're all allowed our own opinions on everything. I just don't necessarily want to be around some people who have opinions about things that really are just, in this day and age, there's no reason to have those sort of opinions. I'm sure you can understand what sort of opinions I'm thinking of, but we won't go into that. This is a happy chat. I say happy. I'll tell you about, I had a bunch of DVDs that I put out on the boot of our car for anyone in the village to help themselves to, you know, being trapped inside and everything. Maybe they wanted some new DVDs. Put them out in the crate, and somebody, I don't know who, come along and literally took all of them, including the crate that I put them on. They've just picked that whole lot up, shoved it in the car and drove off with it all. I don't know who did it, and I'm not particularly happy. I'm hoping that maybe they took it for a care home, or they've got a large family at home that needs more things. Because it was everything from kiddie movies to action movies and all sorts, comedy and that. But yeah, somebody took them all, which really was not. They were supposed to be for a variety of people to come down and grab some so that they got something to watch with their kids and with their husbands and partners and whatever else you've got stuck indoors with, you know. But there's always going to be some people that are greedy and take everything, isn't there? Right, what colour should we do next? I think we're going to do S. Don't know if you can see, but these ones here, S's and V's. So I think we're going to do that next. So S is 18. Okay, so that should be here. It's not exactly the fun colours yet, is it? But after I've done the S's, I'll probably move into some of the blues. I might do the V's and then do the blues, so that we've got some colour coming in somewhere. I mean, what have we been doing? We've been going for an hour and 2 minutes. Well, I rambled on for an hour and 2 minutes. I probably will stop this in a second. That's what I'll do. I'll stop it now and we'll do the S's tomorrow, or I'll continue after lunch for things. So I think an hour is long enough of me rambling, isn't it? So let's come out a bit. Nope, no, that's in. So that's what we got done so far. All around here and here. So that's not too bad, is it? I will see you all later. So you all take care. Bye.